Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderful wife, Laura.
Hello.
We're here to do a review on the Brink, the fun endangered game.
Yeah, so this is an Australian game, you might notice, just by looking at the assortment of animals on the car.
It's also, I'm not entirely sure that this is a particularly true statement, judging from when we played it, but maybe it's...
So I feel like this is very much more of an educational game rather than a game necessarily made to be fun, which is kind of sad because, you know, I think some educational board games are fun. This one struggles in the middle somewhere.
It's going to be hard to sort of show.
Yeah, it's the wrong way. It's weird that they've done this, but anyway.
Basically, the whole idea is you're supposed to save endangered species.
Yes.
Whoever saves 8 species, I think. You stop the game, you total up points, and you go from there. We'll maybe explain a bit later once we get into the pieces. It's a Brent Howard game. Apparently he's done quite a few other Australian games of the era.
That we don't have.
We do not have.
Also, it's in conjunction with the Australian Nature Conservation Agency, hence the more educational aspect of it, I suppose.
And just...
Awkward.
Warning. This game may cause players to have extreme fun. Oh, please, don't be promising that sort of stuff. It also says 50% of profits from the sale of this game go to Australian Natural Conservation Agency.
Yes, well done, Nathan. This was obviously out back in the early 90s, though, so...
Specifically 93.
Not something you can go and purchase
No. Alright, let's take a look.
Bust into it. So we're not going to play this because it can actually be quite a long game.
So here we have the manual. Here's the weird thing.
Which is enormous, but...
Yeah, so once you scroll across, that's that's the entire gameplay manual. You got what, half a page each, maybe.
Those are the instructions, is what Nathan's saying.
And then you've got like extra sets for experience and ideas for younger players. These are both useless, like charades, bingo, and like Find Bilby.
Yeah. Over this other side is books, if you want to go and find out more about conservation and things like that.
Words used in the game, and then.
It goes into the endangered species program, what you can do, the different areas of Australia and the animals in those areas.
I think this specifically, there's a whole bunch of different areas within the board game. And
yes, different habitats.
It speaks about each specific animal featured in this game and why they're endangered and how we can save them. And it goes on
through,
and on.
And there's a lot of different areas and different animals in this game, which you'll see when we get onto the board.
So we'll definitely scan at least the front page. I don't know how keen Laura is to scan the rest of them.
We'll see. I'm the one who does that job, so yeah.
So the board.
I imagine a lot of that information is outdated now as well.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's a fairly large board.
Was it hexagon? Is that the shape I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Alright, so each different kind of section like this is for a different habitat. So we have everything from like the gum forest to the grasslands to the oceans and
high
beaches.
country. Yep. And each section has one individual colour each. So they've all got the same amount of colours in each section.
Yes, and every one of these represents a different animal. And I don't just mean those are then repeated. Every single one around the board is a different
It's a separate animal. So we found when we were setting this up, the setup took ages because you've got to find each individual tile.
Yes. So there's these. So, oh, hang on. Let's try and get that clear for you. There's these. So this one says oceans and beaches. So I know that will go over here in the oceans and beaches section. On the back of each of these is one of the creatures that lives in that area, and then they match a place on the board.
So then you gotta go,
so you actually have to set every single one of these out. So I'd have to go, okay, that's high country. Where's high country? Over there. There it is, and there's one for every single one.
They're not separated. There's not like any with Monopoly money you can sort of segment them.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with this.
Yeah, there's nowhere to have them organised already. So every time, unless you got your own bags or something to put them in, you've got to do it again.
But wait, the setup's not finished. Once you place all the animals here, you need to get the corresponding cards and go on each of the.
I'm gonna move over, so there's more. You just want to move the board away just for a moment. There's a title on that, so don't lose that. Alright, so then we have all of the cards. So you have to separate. There's a contents card, the Bilby card.
So there's only a few Bilby cards in the entire. There's one Bilby card per section.
Yes.
Basically, if you land on a red space, just over here, you get to pick up a Bilby card in addition to trying to save whatever species is in that space. The Bilby cards are specifically used to help you out of a jam. and other various things.
Yes, you can pause and read all the details, but you can use it to get out of trouble when other things are going on. And you can keep it for a later time if you want to. You don't have to use it as soon as you pick it up.
But once you use it, it does go back to the Belby deck.
Yes. You can also trade it for points, but really,
having it way outweighs than getting 50 points unless you're really desperate at the end of the game.
So then, these are the other cards Nathan was talking about needing to set up.
So they're specifically called danger cards because they're, I suppose, trivia, I suppose?
Well, shall we read one and give that as an example?
I've got the manual open here just to make sure I've got everything on the up and up.
Yeah, because there's quite a bit to it, even though it's short instructions. So this is one of the danger cards for oceans and beaches. So you would read this out if someone had landed on to pick one of these up. Where do you pick these up? On the...
Once you land on the animal,
then
you pick up the corresponding card in that zone or section, yes.
Alright, so you spot a sneaky fox trying to look very innocent. What is it carrying that makes you think it is after your species? And then it gives you some options.
So for instance, this is the oceans and beaches. So
it depends on what you land on, which of these answers is going to match better.
For instance, there's the orange-bellied parrot and then the leathery turtle.
So those are not going to have the same answers.
No.
So, A, big nets of fine material and 2 poles. Well, that's not going to be a bird, is it?
But the leathery turtle is probably in trouble.
Well, isn't there a fish?
The fish could also be in trouble too.
With nets and poles, yeah.
So it's the best, it's not exactly, but there are answers that are better than others.
Yes. So then big round rubbery looking eggs, marsupial traps is obviously going to be the marsupial in that section. A small shovel and black plastic pots. There's a plant in every section that's endangered, so that's obviously going to be the plant one.
Matches cooking oil and
a fry pan. A waterproof cassette player and a tape of whale songs. So there's a whale in that section if anyone's wondering.
So you got to answer it basically in terms of what animal you landed on in that section.
Yes, and of course you might land on another animal in that section. If you got that card again, you're going to want a different answer. So then you turn it over and there's a whole slew of different things on the back.
So as you can see, each colour represents what animal it is in that section. So the red one in this one is the
it's just trying to
golden back tear rat.
Okay, so had you landed on that, you would have had to answer, and depending on which answer, there's different amounts of points. So obviously the fox is not looking for the rat if they've got big nets.
No.
So that's why A would give you 0 points. The best answer obviously gives you the highest number, which is C. So in regards to the rat, it would be the marsupial traps. So that, there's quite a bit to do there. You got to make sure you've got the right animal. You make sure the person's giving you the right points back at the end, because there's a lot on these cards.
You can only save the species if you get positive points with your answer.
Yes.
If you get negative points or 0, the species goes back to the board and then you move to the next start space for the next zone.
Yes.
We should probably explain how to move as well.
Yes. All right, off you go, Nathan.
Okay, so
you know this better than I do.
Let me get back to the board. So this actually runs a little bit like Candyland.
Sort of.
Sort of. Let's just pull it over
bringing
here.
the board back.
So I can start on any of these white spaces. It's the start for the or reset zones for any of the start of the zones.
Yes.
Roll the dice. If I'm let's see, here, I rolled a blue. I would move to the blue in that zone.
Yep.
I would then pick up danger card.
Go through that question and answer process.
There is actually an additional one with those answer cards. If you're really not sure, if you're playing with younger players, you can actually roll the alphabet dice and that'll just give you a randomly determined answer off the card.
Which, I mean, really, you should be thinking about it more. But again, maybe younger players.
Yeah, so basically, okay, I do that, pick up the danger card, right or wrong, and then for my next turn, move straight across to the next start zone.
Yes,
and
so then you start from here again. So that then when you roll the die, you'll go into the next section. So you're guaranteed to be moving through the different regions. Now, the different habitats, I suppose, is the better way of saying it.
So you've got the danger cards with the trivia. There is actually also additional cards in each section called wild cards. And they do various different things. They might hinder, help you, get you points, lose points. You might lose a species.
Trying to find one. There it is. So these ones say wild card. This is one for the deserts. So this one says, top of the charts, all the other species in your habitat gang up against your species for top of the pops, listing on the endangered top 40 chart, lose 50 points. That's a really bad one.
Yeah, there are other ones that say you have to put a species back. I think there's somewhere you can actually get a species from anywhere or land on any space.
I mean, this one you have to give other players 20 points, so that's never a good thing.
We found most of the wilds to be negative, I think, when we played.
Yeah, I was just double checking it. Oh, here we go. Here's one of the good ones. There are some. This one, so the green ones, this one's win 50 points because the proposed telephone lines through the grasslands could threaten your species. You managed to get them moved away from your species home. So that's a win.
What other things? If you land on a species you've already saved, you just move to the next restart/start space of the zone. If you land on another player's species, you then have to pay them points for each species token they've already saved, and then you move to the next restart zone. The game stops when players who have saved 8 species, and then you've got to yell out or call Bilby. Sort of like but not nearly as fun. Each player then gets a bonus of 50 points for each species token they have collected, and if you've collected at least one species from each zone, you get a bonus 100 points, and whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Yeah, so if you win by getting 1 from each different habitat, that's when you get that bonus. But that's pretty difficult to do. Now, if you're wondering how you keep track of your score, no, there's no score pad or like score sheet, pen, paper, that sort of thing. No. There's money, essentially, but they're points instead of dollars.
100 points, and it's got the Bilby on it.
Yep, well, we have 100.
50.
50. Then we have the greens, which are
$20 points.
$20 points, yep. There's 10.
And the worst colour they've picked for anything.
So then these are 5, but
they're really difficult to see.
They're really hard to read. No, that's not a problem with the camera. They're just really hard to look at. So that is 5. You can see it when you kind of turn it the right way. These are just very thin paper too, so something you should be careful with if you've got this.
And here we have just our playing pieces. They're just stock standard sort of ones.
Well, they're not actually. So if you take them out, this green one has M on it.
For marsupial? M for marsupial.
They have M's. They all have M's, I think, from memory. Yeah. So they've all got an M.
There is 2 colours here. There's actually, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but there's a white and sort of an off, really light pink.
Very light pink.
So, look, here's what I thought about it. The setup took forever, like sorting out all the cards in each section, then all the animals in each section, and then we started rolling, and then some of the trivia questions were a bit out there.
Yeah, there's some wacky ones in there.
And we played for a while, and it just was really boring.
There's a lot of loss in the cards. So not just if you get like the answers wrong, a lot of these are straightforward, but some of them are like weird and actually quite tricky to work out because they don't really make a lot of sense.
No, because you got all the questions are the same.
Sorry.
The questions are the same, but depending on what animal you pick up, they differ.
But some of them sound similar. Anyway, also with those wild cards, a lot of those lose you points. So it sets you back quite a long way when you're trying to rescue them, and you can only rescue the animal if you get, like you said, positive points.
Yeah, so I mean, it just didn't flow very well. It didn't flow very well, and the setup is what killed it for me. Because it's still got to be correct, otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the high country but getting a rock wallaby.
Because then the card answer doesn't answer the thing. So yeah, I'd say, you're obviously not going to go buy it now unless you find it secondhand.
I mean, this is just one I'd pass on. I realise it was meant to be educational, and maybe it helped some kids when it first came out, but it might not be accurate anymore. It's, like I said, tedious to set up, and it's not the most exciting
I'm just disappointed because I really like all the artwork. The components are quite nice. Like, the cards are colourful.
Aside from the points, money sort of stuff.
The money's a bit, but everything about it screams like, it's going to be, relatively entertaining, but it's just a bit of a slog.
It's just a bit bland, yeah. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know down below if you remember any really good educational board games from your childhood, because there are certainly good ones out there that are fun as well as educational.
What was this, Grant Howard or Grant Kennett or something? Whatever his name. Hang on, I need to look at the back of the box now and see.
I'm not even going to attempt. I can't remember who it was.
Brent Howard Games. Apparently he made a whole bunch back in the day.
Let us know if you remember any of the others, or maybe you've still got some of these other ones today. Hit that subscribe button and check back next Tuesday for our next review or playthrough.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.